of the fun parts of having my own track is being able to test whenever I want and to be able to record those tests. This track is still pretty brand new. I haven't done much to it, and I have watered this and it does get a bunch more traction, but I kind of like the dry slick and throwing dirt around a little bit. In the full-scale world, you're more likely to run into a dry slick track anyway. There's no real science to telling just when a track is dry slick enough, but there is one little puff test that works. This is my Traxxas Modified, and it's pretty much straight up stock. It still has the stock motor and gearing in it, same springs and suspension, same shocks. I did put 30 weight oil in the front shocks and 40 weight in the rear shocks. And I tweaked the camera a little bit just to try and get a better contact patch through the corners, but very little changes there. Needless to say, when I started slowing this footage down, I was just amazed at how this chassis works. It for sure likes to come into the corners really hard, stab a brake a little bit, and let it to start to rotate. And just to make sure it's very real, you can over-rotate. What amazed me is when I watch this thing drift, and as it starts to get the tires back into the track, you can see that left front wheel get hiked up. And when I get back on the gas, it carries that left front wheel until it starts to get out on the straightaways. When I first got the Traxxas Modified, I thought they had the chassis a little bit high. I thought it'd be kind of top heavy, may want to roll more than slide. It turns out that I'm really glad that I left it as they sent it from the factory, because this thing works great. I can't get over how flat the chassis stays through the corners, and it's a bumpy track for sure. There's plenty of suspension left for it to navigate the bumps in the track, but still plenty of control of the suspension for it to keep traction through the corners. To be fast through the corners on my track, you do have to hit the right entry point, have to hit the brakes at the right point, let it rotate just enough, and get back on the gas at the right time. The good news is there's no computer going to do all that for you. You have to learn how to drive the car, but this car is easy to learn how to drive and can handle this. I know there's people out there that complain about the Traxxas Modified, but I just don't think that they're taking the time to learn to drive the car. Between weather and making wing bags, I haven't had near the amount of time on the track that I'd like, but I'm getting where I can get some pretty good laps off with this thing. In addition to just being able to get around this track, the Traxxas Modified is very consistent. It keeps doing the same thing over and over again so you can learn how to do it. I just finished building a Traxxas two-wheel drive Slash, and I'll have that video coming up soon, and I hope to get that car on the track shortly.